the one, the only, Ben Good morning and welcome to Yeshiva YouTube. Iyun to Lean On. We finished another week of Shulchan Aruch Yom Simon Reish Pei Hey, 285. I think next week I'm going to take a week off vacation. Everyone deserves a week of vacation. Busy schedule next week with my kids and going on trips and stuff like that because it is Bein Hazmanim here in Israel, summer vacation. I think I'll take 1 week off and maybe resume the following week. Today is a halacha that a lot of people like to learn about, or some people don't like. Most people don't like to learn about this thing. When I was growing up, I wasn't even aware there was the obligation to do Shnai Mikra Targum until I became frum, and I learned that yeshivish people, frum people, they do Shnai Mikra Targum, which takes a considerable amount of time. You know, I had friends who pushed it off to the last minute. They hated doing it. They wanted to learn Gemara, so they would push it off till Friday. They would push it off Friday night. They would push it off till Shabbos day. And even the frummest people I knew, guys that I was jealous of in yeshiva, he wouldn't finish. The correct halach is you have to finish by the Suda on Shabbos morning. He didn't finish most of the time. I saw him doing. He was halfway through it. I couldn't believe this guy is such a big masmid, but he won't do it. I used to stay up Friday night till 2 o'clock in the morning to fish time Targum in order to be Yotzei the halach. You're supposed to finish it before the Shabbos Suda during the day. I was very makbid about this. I said if it's halacha, it's halacha. It overrides all the other learning. Now the Shulchan Aruch knows that it's a chiyuv. It's a chiyuv. And chayiv likros la'atzim v'choshev v'parsha osorosh time Targum. You look in the Gemara on Daf Brachos and Daf Ches where it talks about the chiyuv. First of all, it's Agarata. The Gemara says, "La'olam yashlim adam parshiyasim atzibor shnai mikra targum." It's a good thing, and if you do that, the marifin lo yama v'shnosa. If you do this, your life will be lengthened. Now, again, this is Agarata. That's the way Agarata talks. It doesn't say you have to. It says you should. And don't say you should, then you have to. And the Shulchan Aruch piles a bunch of chumras upon here. First of all, you're chayav. Second of all, you have to do Yari Shemayim should do Targum and Rashi. And it's just hard to understand. So I'll tell you the reason I don't do it anymore. I did do it for many years, about 10 years. I did Rashi, not Targum Unkelos, because my Rebbe, Yaakov Konigsberg, my first real Rebbe, who's currently at Yeshiva University, said what separates the men from the boys is doing Rashi instead of Targum Unkelos, because you understand it a lot better. I did for 8 to 10 years, every Rashi, al Torah. I was very machnish Targum. I do not currently do it. And I'll tell you the reason right now is because there's 2 reasons given why there's a chiyuv, quote unquote, for Shtayim Yerchei Targum. One reason being is to prepare for that week's parsha, right? You know you're going to go to shul to hear laning on Shabbos. You want to prepare that, so you want to understand what he's saying. That's why you should do it. Second reason given is that it's a part of Limud Torah, just like you're chayav to learn Torah Shebaal Peh. You're also chayav to learn Torah Shebechtav. You want to understand Torah Shebechtav. The Gemara in Kedushin says, "La'olam yashish adam limudo." We should learn Shlish Mikra, Shlish Mishnah, Shlish Haggadah, Shlish Gemara. So a third of your time should be learning Tanakh. Most people in Shiva don't learn Nach, but you should at least learn the Haftorah, as we see in Halacha Zayin. You should read the Haftorah that week. And you should learn Torah. You should understand Chumash. It's very integral. A lot of people, it's very sad to learn Gemara all day. They don't, they ask them where the pasuk is. They can show you a Gemara. They don't know where in the Torah it is. So it's very sad if you don't learn Mikra, and that's the reason. And to fill in, you're supposed to learn the entire Torah, even Torah Shabbat, to ensure that you learn Torah Shabbat and know it well. So, which one is it? So there's 2 proofs from the halachas that tell you which one is the right reason. First of all, you lechatchila, all you have to do is finish Shnai Mikra Targum before the Shabbos Suda. Now, if the chiyuv is to prepare you for the laning on Shabbos morning, you should have to finish it before the Shabbos laning. But you're not lechatchila. You don't have to. You can finish it after Shabbos laning. Some people, they go to shul early on Shabbos, and then they have a break. They learn for an hour or 2. You can finish it then. But you already read the parsha, so how are you preparing for it? Second of all, right, I've talked about many times, Kriyas HaTorah is a chovas hatzibur. It's a chova when you have a minyan. There's no Kriyas HaTorah on the yachid. And specifically on Shabbos, it's not even a chiyuv really gomer. It's not a chiyuv d'oraisa to ensure a d'oraisa of learning Torah like Monday, Thursday, and Shabbos afternoon. It's a different type of thing. The Rabban and the Takana by Moshe Rabbeinu to learn every week has its own Iyun. The Parshios HaShavua are the Iyun of that Shavua. You're supposed to learn Davar Be'ito, right? You learn about Pesach during Pesach, Shavuos during Shavuos, Sukkot during Sukkot. You learn about that Shabbos during that Shabbos. That's the Moed for it. That's the Rabban, it's the Takana Moshe Rabbeinu. It's a Chiyuv on the Tzibor. It's a Chiyuv on the Tzibor. So then you don't have an obligation to prepare for that. That's something related to the Sibur, not your own personal obligation of understanding it. And the third thing is Halacha Zayin, in Sarach Likros Parshas Yontav. If it's prepare the Kriyas HaTorah, so for Kriyas HaTorah and Yontav, you should also have to prepare. Elamai, the reason giving you don't have to prepare for Yontav is because you already mentioned Parshas Yontav, and in the weeks that you did Shnayim Mikra, on wherever those Parshas were from, the Torah, so you already yosed with that. So you see, it's a mitzvah of learning the Torah, and specifically, there's even mitzvah of learning the Torah. There's learning the Torah, which is, every day you should learn the Torah. You're yotze with Kriyat Shema Shachar Arbis B'diavad, or even L'chachila, according to some opinions. That's just to make sure you learn every day. That's the mitzvah Asher Bach Rabbanan Mikol Mim and Aslan Osar, which is all right. So the mitzvah Rabbanan La'osek B'derei Torah, and that is to engage in Torah for the purpose of knowing the Torah, and that's really what Shnai Mikra V'Targum is. That Gemara in Kedusha and Shlish Mikra tells you that you have to know the Torah, and the Gemara in Brachos is merely telling you a good idea, a suggestion of how to make sure you know Mikra very well. And therefore, someone who's done it for many years, like me, and familiar with almost all the Rashis, I remember these things basically, I'm familiar with what the Chumash is saying, you don't have an obligation to do it anymore. If you've done it for 5 years, let's say, I think you know it pretty well, you don't have an obligation to do it anymore. If you've never done it, so it's a suggestion, the Gemara says, that you should fulfill Shlish Mikra, but if you're going to learn during the week, my mother learns Nach Yomi, my mother learns Nach, she's doing it her second time already. If you're going to learn Chumash the other times during the week, you'll fulfill in the Shlish Mikra, you'll learn the Torah Shabbat also, not just Torah Shabbat Peh. And technically, the suggestion doesn't apply to you. It only applies to regular people who are too consumed with learning Daf Yomi. They don't have time to learn Mikra, so therefore it's really a suggestion. And certainly if you've done it for a number of years, Shnai Mikra V'Targum, I don't think the obligation applies anymore for the aforementioned reasons. Hope you enjoyed today's shir. See you in the next one.